Welcome to A Problem Squared, the podcast that is a hive of problem-solving activity. We are the worker bees who go out and collect problems from you, the listeners. That's the pollen, I guess, in this situation. We bring those problems back to the hive. We turn them into delicious solutions or honey.
Yep.
And then listeners get that honey and they spread it on their toast, which is...
I think you say their toes.
No, the toast. Or toes, whatever you're into. I'm not going to judge.
Raise their babies in it. They're young.
Wait, the bees, the listeners, the bees?
The listeners are pollen. Oh, yeah.
No, the pollen are the problems.
Oh, right, yep.
The solutions is the honey, and the toast is the listeners' ears.
Okay.
That's where the solutions get smeared over at the end.
But the listeners are the flowers, right? Because of the pollen of the problems.
They are, yes.
So...
It's a mess.
Either way, it's a sticky mess.
So you can hear co-host, one of our many worker bees, Beck Hill, who, much like a worker bee, enjoys outfits that are brightly coloured and patterned. You are.
And I communicate through dance.
You do communicate through dance.
Yeah.
I do not.
My name is Almost Bee.
I have waggled while communicating.
I've seen you waggle.
Correct. You will travel great distances for a treat.
That's true.
I mean, you came here via the bakery to this recording.
Yeah, even though it's a detour.
Which I was going to say, as a worker bee, I like hexagons.
Yes.
And tessellations.
You do?
But to nip in the bud, everyone's saying you also drone on. I will accept the drone.
Yep.
Because my on-air career was also surprisingly short. So, my on...
I see what you're saying.
There's a hilarious joke there about my short-lived TV career and the life expectancy of a drone.
Yep.
Bee.
A drone bee. Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. Also, buzz. Something about. There's a lot of buzz.
A lot of buzz.
About.
A lot of buzz about this podcast.
Yeah. Beesness.
Bee taking care. Well, we're going to have any other beesness at the end of the.
We'll cut that bit out.
No.
Actually, if there's going to be any other beesness, what else is in today's episode?
Beck will be giving us the lowdown on high fives.
Matt will be working out the most efficient digital displays.
And any other beesness. Just going to keep saying that. And what is a high five if not contracted to hive? On the bee theme as well, that was just our sting that we played in then.
Oh. My goodness.
It almost,
what happened? Did you steal my pun powers?
I have put so little thought into this and it's working out so well.
I know. I'm really letting down the team.
This is great. Anyway, Beck, how have you been?
How have I been?
Have you been?
Yeah. Good. Hey,
Good.
I tell you what.
You tell me.
I was doing...
That would help the podcast dramatically.
I will tell you. So, you know, there's a show called Werewolf Live. Where,
is that where they play the game Werewolf?
Yeah, which is a bit like
Mafia
Murder or
any
of those ones. And it's just where comedians play that game. And
it's one of those games where someone is the villain.
There's like two
of some form.
Werewolves in this one.
Right.
And yeah, everyone has to guess who the werewolves are.
It's a long drawn out psychological game of accusing your friends.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Very much psychologically profiling everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
strategic
so it's a bunch
lying,
of comedians
making
assumptions about each other, getting angry, arguing, and people pay to watch it.
That's very funny.
I love it. As you know, I've not been taking any bookings while things have been so busy recently. However, I will do Werewolf Live because all I have to do is show up and argue.
Oh, nice.
It's wonderful.
Very little prep.
So I was doing that in Covent Garden in London, and it's only an hour-long show. So it went from 7, finished at 8. Most of the other comics are going off to their other gigs or maybe going home. I realised there were the two lovely gentlemen at the back of the room. I thought, I know them. And it was Tom and Owen from Mr. Thing.
Oh.
Which is a show that you guested on a few times.
I love Mr. Thing.
In Edinburgh.
Yeah.
A late night talk show where you got killed off.
I got killed off.
You started doing a set and got murdered.
Several nights.
There's a lot of murder in the shows we do.
So yeah, that's very true. So for context, this was like a talk show,
late night chat show.
Chat show thing. But one of the running themes was one of their guests, I think it was Judi Dench, escapes and then kills one of the other guests.
Yes.
And they would get on different comedians to play the other guest. But the thing is, if you played that role, you didn't get to do much of your material. You got to tell like a joke, and then you were attacked by Judi Dench.
Yes.
And then you had to lie dead on the stage for the rest of the show. And so because I love their work so much, I said, hey, whenever you need, if you can't find someone, because they were doing this every night, I'll fill in. So I must have done that. Goodness, 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, just whenever someone backed out.
Whenever they lost someone at the last minute, because we're in the same venue as them.
Yeah. And they're lovely guys. There was a whole team, but obviously Owen and Tom were sort of the main drivers of it. And turns out that they're curating shows at the same venue that Werewolf Live was on at. So they said afterwards, we're going to pop up to the office and have a drink. Do you want to come and hang out?
They've got an office.
Yeah. So I said, sure. So I went up to the office.
Wow.
It's about 8 o'clock at night. I left at about 1:30 in the morning.
So a lot like Edinburgh Festival.
It was a lot like Edinburgh Festival. I mean, I had some very nice tequila.
Oh.
Sipping tequila.
Oh, sipping tequila.
I need to specify. I mean, all tequila should be sipping tequila, but I need to specify.
The difference in quality between terrible tequila, or otherwise known as regular tequila, and proper sipping tequila is dramatic.
I don't even mind regular tequila. I just think the problem is that everyone keeps drinking it to get drunk. And I like to drink it like a whiskey.
But good tequila is good tequila.
Oh, it was very good tequila. And so had a lot of, but I also had some beers and some Prosecco. Look, by the way, I'm not condoning getting drunk.
I think I can put my finger on what went wrong here.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I did discover they had a soda stream and then insisted that we make fizzy orange drink, which I then proceeded to spill everywhere.
The story checks out.
Still asked me back.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they've still said, come back. At one point, I remember we started playing odd instruments. I learned how to play.
Is that the name of a game or you just?
No, he's just got a bunch of strange instruments around the office. There was like a very old, I think it's like a bugle, but as in the straight ones, the long straight one. They look like a vuvuzela.
So someone got a bugle and straightened it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a funny practical joke.
So I got taught how to play the Muppet theme tune on that. Hopefully there's no residents in the building because that would have been an awful thing to...
Was there another show in downstairs afterwards? I
mean, I think everyone had gone home by that stage. I also met Gus, who edits all the videos for them. He's wonderful. And that's when I sent you a video. It would have been about 2 a.m. our time over here because they've got a recurring image.
The employee of the month.
Yeah, where it's him sitting at his computer, his back.
You sent me a photo and I was in Australia. So it was like a reasonably normal time in the morning in Australia.
Yeah.
A photograph of someone sat at their desk looking away from the camera. It was a video. It was a video. And then you zoomed in. On the wall was a framed picture of Employee of the Month, which was the person sitting at the desk looking away from the camera.
Yeah.
So and we will share
Instagram
that if people want to
Twitter.
check that out.
Yeah. We'll tag Mr. Thing as well.
Good people. If you can see Mr. Thing, see Mr. Thing.
Yeah, I do know what I think they're doing Edinburgh again.
Really?
Yeah, and I think they're doing some previews and stuff. I don't know what dates or anything, but you know, they are worth checking out.
Check the internet.
It's very fun. They've got a puppet.
Good puppet.
Who doesn't want to watch that? How about you, Matt? Have you been?
Oh, I've been good. Had a great time in Australia. Now I'm back, fighting jet lag.
Yeah, how did Australia go?
It was good fun. In fact, I have a tale of impeccable customer service.
Ooh, I love these tales.
Oh, this is good.
I'm going to strap in.
So get ready. It's a real roller coaster. I had ordered some electronic devices from JB Hi-Fi.
Oh, yes.
For our Aussie listeners.
Yep.
And I did the click and collect. So I knew some things I definitely wanted. So I click and collected them. And I thought I'd browse the rest of the store. They do everything from computer equipment, music.
Yeah, kind of like Curry's.
Like a Curry's, but a little more.
More music and indie.
Yeah, but you can buy a fridge.
Can you now?
Yeah.
I remember when I would just go there for CDs.
Just CDs. It was the place to get CDs in small yellow plastic bags.
Yes.
And now they've diversified. And so I ordered some items, went in there, went to pick them up. And as I got to the checkout where you give them the code and then they were like, oh, have you got your photo ID? I was like, I knew it. I'd read that in the confirmation email and I had not brought my photo ID. And I was like, I don't want to have to go all the way back to where I'm staying and then come all the way back in again. And they went all out to find a way to give me my goods without
Did that involve Googling you?
Well, no, I was wondering, when is the socially acceptable time to say, can you just Google me?
Yeah.
I had a beard at the time. I have to specify the video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll look exactly like the picture. But they went all out. They were like, but the thing, I didn't even have a card, like a bank card on me because I had my phone for paying and for everything. And then I realized, I was like, oh, is there like a mobile number on the order? They're like, yes, there is. I was like, oh, if you ring that and my phone rings, I didn't say, I was thinking either I've stolen someone's phone or this is definitely my order. But then they rang it and they typed the wrong number.
Oh.
They spoke to someone else, a very confused person.
Oh, gosh.
Who said that they did not have a JB Hi-Fi pre-order.
No.
And then they tried to ring, it didn't go through, but eventually I managed to ring the store and I had a conversation of me on one side of the counter.
Oh, nice.
And it was like the staff member and their manager doing everything. And they are like, yes, we can release your goods. And so they phoned down to the warehouse and said, bring up the goods. And I was so amazed that they went to that incredible length. And then the guy came out with the goods, walked around the corner and went, oh, hey, you're Matt Parker. Where were you 20 minutes ago?
Do you know what I love? I like to think that he's not a fan of yours. He just knew, he'd heard that there'd been all this ruckus.
This really annoying customer who didn't bring their ID.
That's very, very funny.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where they were like, how do you know?
No. They'd moved on to other.
He definitely told them later.
Exactly.
When you left, he definitely went.
He was.
He's kind of. And then they go. And you know what? They would have been like, oh, I bet he didn't bring his ID because he thought he didn't need it.
Because he thinks he's all that.
So famous. No, not at all. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah. I chuckled for a long time afterwards.
Yeah.
I was thinking of all the places someone should, like a tech store. Come on.
Of course. Well, if you're listening to this, JB Hi-Fi tech guy.
Osborne Park. Oh, what was his name? Something like Evan. I apologize, Evan, if that's not your name. Anyway, Osborne Park, JB Hi-Fi.
Shout out.
Great customer service, great taste in YouTube videos.
Not sponsored. Hashtag not an ad.
No, not an ad. Mr. Thing was an ad. They pay us a lot of money for that. Sent in by Robbie on the problem posing page at aproblemsquared.com. When does a high five become a low five? They then clarify. Does it depend on the height of the hands or the direction the fingers are pointing? I mean, some things do. Can one person be high-fiving and the other low-fiving in the same high-low five? Wow.
Ooh.
So Cal wants to know, what's the difference between a high five and a low five?
Mm-hmm.
And can you have a simultaneous high-low five combo?
Okay. I think at first this sounds like a very complex problem.
Yeah.
However.
Oh.
It's not.
Oh, my goodness.
Matt.
Yes.
Give me a low five. Look at the position of your hand.
My palm is facing up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then in order for me to give you a low five, I then have to slap down.
Yep.
That's a low five.
Low five.
You can't. It's not about how high or low you hold your hand.
You're saying
in that
it's
case,
the orientation of the palm.
I do think that.
Because my palm was horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
And your palm was horizontal.
Yeah.
We were low fiving.
I think I have to be able to go in a downwards fashion to slap your hand.
Is there a difference between high five?
Yeah.
We just did a high five, both palms are vertical.
Yes.
Up top.
So I've got to go upwards.
What's that? What's this? Yeah.
So Matt's holding his hand out.
Palm down to this floor.
And I'm going up.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was that?
That's an up top or up high.
Because that
high
was
five, down. No, it's up high, down low, too slow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my point is that it's not like if you're high-fiving someone in a normal high five situation.
Yep.
So your palms are vertical.
Yep.
Then it doesn't matter whether it's high or low. I think that is still a high five.
Okay.
And I think that's because if you are, and this then comes into, I know there's some people going, no, but no, because then it's not high. Now, this is the thing. If we're roughly the same height, we physically can't, it has to be at least sort of at a right angle to our bodies for us to be able to slap with force because of the angle of our elbows and shoulders.
Wait, hang on. Where do you hinge from when you're...
You move your shoulder, your shoulder moves and your elbow
I feel
extends.
like my arm is kind of concertinating out.
Yes. Yeah.
5.
Which means if you try and do that at a lower angle.
I can't come up. You're right. I need to... I need to reorientate. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's no longer a high five.
High five.
Because
now down
the palm's
low.
changing.
Huh.
So if your palms are vertical, you have to be able to either push out horizontally or higher.
So
because of the position of your arms. However, if you're high-fiving someone who is smaller than you.
A common occurrence.
Like quite small though, like a child.
Yep. Okay, right. Yep.
You might need to put out your hand at a weird,
bring it right down.
Like sometimes you have to go to the side, side, but your palm's still vertical.
Yeah.
So a child can slap your hand and you go high five. That's not like, you might not feel that is a high.
It's still a high five.
But it is still a high five because it's high five for them.
What if you do a high five?
Mm-hmm.
Both people then carry on the momentum, swing their hands all the way around. Coming down past their sides now.
Oh, right. So when you high five, your hands connect.
Yep.
So you're saying you then stopped connecting.
Yeah.
You're not
like
pushing my arm backwards.
No. Yeah.
In a circle.
So we high five. We're doing it in slow motion. Ready? We high five. Boom. And then we swing all the way around. What's this?
We've slipped past each other.
Bam. On the.
And now that, I think that I would classify that as a.
Is that a whole different beast?
Is that a down low? No, it's not.
Is it a follow through?
Yeah, it's like a follow through, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not a high five though. It's a different beast. Because you can't start with that.
Oh, it's behind, isn't it? High five, from behind.
Right.
Up high.
Down low, too slow. Okay, so I'm going to name it the behind five.
From behind. That's what it is.
What if one person was lying down? Because then...
I see what you're saying.
From my point of view, my palm is perpendicular to my body, which would be a low five. But then from your point of view, it's vertical. So if you would be a high five, is this the hybrid, that cow?
I would say it then constitutes the same rules as if you're high-fiving a child.
Okay, so someone's lying down, they just count as
it's kind
child
of like,
rules come into play.
It's whatever the other person
Good
has
job,
to
sport,
do
after the high five.
Like it's whatever the other movement the other
giver,
person has to do.
Not the receiver of the high five.
Well,
let's go with
the non-instigator.
You've got the initiator.
Oh yes,
and you've got the executor.
Yes.
So it's the movement of the executor defines the naming convention of the five.
Yeah, so initiator, you hold your hand up, but the executor is the person who has to continue it in order for it to happen.
Yep.
So yeah, it's about the executor.
The executor of the high five.
Of the high five. They get to decide.
They get to decide and they decree what five just occurred.
I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I agree. I mean, I'm a big fan of orientation. I'm a big fan of rules for coming up with naming conventions. So I feel like that works. I think that there are more types of high five than the simple down low, and which is why I was thinking like the behind five.
From behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, they wanted to know if you can do both at the same time. Yeah. I guess that's if you're holding your the playground sort of hand clapping.
Bam.
Yeah, where you're sort of that you're basically doing a up high and a down low at the same time. And then what you do is you sort of cross your palms. That's kind of a high five, even though it's horizontal.
What if one person's doing a backflip?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And as they're moving, two different people high five them at different points in the rotation.
Yep.
And then they've executed. Well, then everyone's moving now.
What sort of somersault is this? Where are they high fiving? At what?
They're doing a backflip and they're keeping their hand fixed relative to their own body.
Okay, so you're holding your hand out as if you were doing a down low.
Yep. And then I'm about to do a backflip. So as I come up, it's going to go through the high five orientation.
Yep.
It's going to rotate around to the up top. Oh, goodness. Maybe I have to do it the other way around like this. Because then it'll come up into the high five orientation.
Oh, okay. So now Matt's changed it so that he's doing I'm
starting
up high,
with the palm
but
down.
with his hand down quite low.
Yep. So then when I backflip,
yep,
which just everyone assume this is what I'm doing, I flip backwards. This will rotate up into the high five location.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just standing there and I just high five it as you're
but now it's receding from you. So you're gonna.
I'm pushing you away.
You're gonna have exactly. It's gonna help me with the backflip.
Yeah, but I'm more just sort of pushing. I'm not high fiving you.
Yeah, no.
You're not gonna get a huge amount of sound from it.
No. Okay, maybe you'd have to do a front flip. I mean,
I think it's the same problem.
It's going to be a very exotic situation where you're going to end up with multiple types of high five in the one movement.
I mean, I suppose it's a different name then, isn't it? That's just a trick shot, really.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Okay. I'm happy with that convention.
I think if you're capable of doing a backflip while high fiving in a weird position, and the other person is also, because that's the thing.
Also executing it.
The thing
perfectly.
is, if you do a backflip, but the
executor of the five
is just standing there and normally high fiving, they've just high fived you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just a high five.
Exactly.
But if you're both flipping,
so we're prepared to
you get to name that.
You cannot.
It's down to you.
It's down to you. So we're prepared to say you cannot have a hybrid high-low five that from one person's point of view is a high five, the other person's point of view is a low five, because it's an asymmetric situation with the executor of the five names the high five.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if you went to give
board.
me a down low,
Yep.
and I'm a child,
and
it's really high up for me to do that, I've still got to swing my hand
it's
down.
Still a down low. Yep.
Still a down low.
Yep, got it. Wow. I'm going to give you a high ding.
And I'll give you a loading.
There you go.
From behind. Loading from behind. Let's
never use that sentence again.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Matt.
Beck.
You've got a dinglet or a winged in.
Oh, yep.
We still haven't decided.
We haven't decided what it is.
Because I prefer saying dinglet. You like winged
I really
ding.
like winged ding. It's the supporting ding.
Yeah. So we have a smaller problem.
A mending.
From Cal.
Cal.
Short for calculator, I'm imagining.
Small name for a small problem.
Yep.
CAL.
Yeah. Or calorie. Who says, we all know about 7-segment displays, which can display any digit from 0 to 9. We all know about that, Matt.
We do all know about that.
All of us know about that. But
I think we all do.
What is the minimum number of segments that could display readable digits? For instance, is there a configuration of 6 segments which could be arranged so as to produce readable digits? I'll be honest, I don't understand the question.
So, the 7-segment display.
Yeah, you're using quotation marks as you say that.
Actually, you know what? This whole thing, this is such a...
As someone with resting sarcasm voice, the use of quotation marks
it's just too much.
It's implied.
Oh, right. Okay, good. The problem with this whole problem is it's very visual.
Okay.
The problem is visual. My solutions are visual. And a podcast is not the medium for this problem. However, we do not shy away from a problem poser in need.
Yeah.
And Cal needs to know.
We don't shy away from problematic problems.
We don't know. We probably should. We slam into them and we make it work all the same.
Yes.
So I apologize in advance to everyone listening. You're going to have to do some imagining and maybe some drawing. We'll put photos of these things on our Twitter and Instagram afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But the classic 7-segment display is like the figure of 8 display that you see on watches, microwaves,
calculators.
That's
why it's from Cal.
That's why it's from Cal.
Yeah.
VCRs for our older listeners.
Yes.
And I'm actually going to draw one. I know it's not going to help everyone listening along, but it will us here. So I'm going to draw. Actually, Beck, you're going to kind of be a good, listener advocate. So I'm going to draw like a box.
Yeah.
Which is 4 lines.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to draw the 3 underneath to make it like 2 boxes stacked.
Yeah.
And that's at 8.
Yes.
And you can make every number by turning on or off these different segments.
Yes. And I know that because I have drawn silly cartoons with digital sort of
like an alarm clock.
So I've drawn it the same. Yeah. So I am aware of this one.
See?
But I don't think I ever thought of it in terms of turning off a line or on a line.
Oh, okay. That's
but I get that now.
Yeah, you get it's just like that electronic display, typeface.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But to make this work, you have to have 7 things you can turn on or off to make every single Which is good. 7's good.
Oh, so that's what they mean by 7 lines.
That's what they mean by 7-segment display.
Okay.
There are 7 lines.
So not everyone knows about it. When they said that, I genuinely thought it meant like you have up to 7 spaces for digits.
It's like 7 digits.
Yeah.
No, the 7 segments are the lines that turn on or off.
And when they said readable, I was like, like writing eggshell. But I'm starting to realize that's not what they meant either.
No, by readable, basically I'm going to take that to mean you glance at it and you can read what the number is.
Okay, so they mean to be able to tell what number you've got up.
Yeah, some numbers are super obvious. So I'm going to do the 1. A 1 is just 2 lines, one above each other. Mm-hmm. And that's obviously a 1. For the record, so what number is this? I'm drawing one here.
Matt, you've done a 2.
Correct.
With
that doesn't
5
look
lines.
Much like a 2.
I guess to me, I think of it as a 2 because
we're so used to it.
Yeah.
So readable, we are actually so familiar with this being a 2 that we don't bat an eye. But actually, it looks nothing like how we'd write a 2. Because you could make it look more like a 2, but you'd need more segments.
Which is all rounded and stuff, yeah. And the thing is, I know on some, I'm guessing it's LED, where it's bright red. It's very bright. And you could look at the display on the calculator
like
at night.
an LED one,
Or a green one. You might have
calculating in the dark, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got one.
Do you know,
my FX 39.
My grandpa had one, and I remember I used to play with it all the time because it had a light, like it lit up, and that was so exciting. Not the screen.
No, it's
the
LEDs.
Lines,
yeah,
the
with LCD, you need to either be backlit or just be an ambient light.
Yes. Now that one I remember had diagonals.
Yes.
So that would have been even more segments.
So this one I've just drawn here. Now it's more complex. Now it's an 8-segment display. We had to add an extra line. And the diagonals mean you can do all like the letters of the alphabet. You can do better looking digits.
Yes.
You need more sections. And so there's this constant balance between the simplicity of having fewer segments that turn on and off and how readable it is.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a guess? What year is the earliest use of the classic 7-segment figure of 8, let's call it that, displays?
Oh, okay. Now, I mean, initially your mind goes to digital display, but actually then I'm thinking of the clickety click 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 things that you get at airports.
The old ones are like train stations and airports. Yeah,
not like it's where it's a whole
the flappy
flap,
ones.
But where it is the individual sections, and I imagine they probably predate the digital display, even though it's the same thing.
An even more different use.
Oh, okay. Was it for numbers?
It was for numbers and generalized to letters, but for numbers they did 7-segment.
Anything to do with travel?
No. The year was 1903.
Oh my goodness. No, I wouldn't have gone back that far.
Yeah.
I don't think.
The answer is normally either 1970 or 1840.
Yeah, or like
like 1200
before Christ.
Exactly, yeah. So I have right here.
Moses' tablets were an early form of fax.
I have here a patent that was applied for in 1903, granted in 1915 for a way
You've gone all out with your displays recently, Matt.
Thank you. My props are on point.
We have swapped puns,
props. And you did the calculation last episode.
You don't even need me anymore.
That's so not true. Okay, so this prop is the patent applied by a C. Kinsley, who came up with the idea to simplify data sent by telegraph. So it's like a weird cross, like a visual form of binary like data compression. And you can see here, they've done the digits in the standard 7-segment display.
That.
Yep. And so the idea was, instead of sending the whole number or whatever, you can just send which segments have to be turned on or off. In fact, you could rig up the telegraph to basically do it automatically. And so they've got their diagrams for how you turn the segments on and off remotely.
Yes.
If you want to look it up on Google Patents, it's patent number 1126641. That's all you need to find it. So it goes way back. It's been independently discovered several times, apparently, this display using 7 segments. The question is, could we do it in fewer? And so I thought, I wonder if I can come up with a 6-segment display. Would you like to see my 6-segment display?
Of course I would.
So I'm going to sketch it out for you We'll share this afterwards, obviously, if you want to see it. I think this works as a 6-segment display. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
So Matt has just drawn 4 diagonals.
Yeah, diamond.
Yep.
Yeah.
In a diamond shape.
I'm now going to draw the horizontal
That's a 0
line in.
at the moment. Now you've put a line through the middle. That makes an 8.
Yep. And it's currently a 5-segment display.
Yep.
6. Done.
And then he's just put one final line up the center.
Only the bottom half. Some displays have all sorts of crazy shapes for the lines and segments. And so it's a T inside a diamond on the bottom, kind of the bottom half of the diamond.
Yeah.
Which means 1's pretty straightforward. 1.
And for 1, that's your one horizontal line that would normally be in the bottom half of your space.
Yeah, because there's one vertical line.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is 1. 2 comes down there, over there, down there. That's a 2.
So Matt's just done a diagonal going down towards the right. So imagine a diamond with a line through the center and then
it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay.
Yeah, it sort of looks like a lightning strike.
I'll draw the rest in, and you can just give me any thoughts you have as I go along. 4, 5, 6.
I've got to say, while Matt draws these,
7.
This looks like a pretty cool font that I would draw on my desk in.
8, 9.
This is very satisfying.
0.
I would actually argue that these look better than...
They've got a certain 80s or 90s kind of jagged...
Well, they've got a sort of Metallica.
Yes.
That's what it looks like, the font for Metallica.
So I've not drawn that particularly well, but we'll
That's because it's got a sort of runes feel around it as well. Feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you put your finger on it. I ran out of space towards the end, so the 8, 9, and 0 are kind of squeezed in. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
Would you, just on behalf of all listeners, given you can see them, would you accept that as the digits 1 through 0?
I would, yeah. I think it takes you a second to realize, but I think you would catch on quite quickly.
Cal's question, though. Oh, and it was a fun challenge, by the way. And I had a few other attempts that weren't quite as good. This was my best. If people give it a go, see if you can come up with a 6-segment display which gives you readable all 10 digits.
I've got an option in case anyone has an issue with the half line.
Oh, really? What's your option?
I would have the half line on the side of your diamond.
Oh.
So that it's matching up with that corner rather than meeting in the middle of a single line.
For this one, I've stuck to straight lines, but actually you can do all sorts of crazy shapes that turn on or off. As long as they come all on and all off at once. And I've gone with they can't cross each other because the way that you either turn on the whole shape or you turn off the whole shape. If they cross, then you've got to turn the middle bit on and off for different bits. But Cal's question was a 2-parter. They both wanted to know, could you do it with 6 segments? I mean, I'm biased, but I think that's a winner. And they want to know what's the minimum number of segments. So the question now is, how few could you go? And there is an absolute limit. You cannot do it with 3 because if you've only got 3 things you can turn on or off, 2 options for the first one on or off, 2 options for the second one on or off, 2 options for the third one on or off, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. There are only 8 different combinations of turning 3 things on or off.
And you need 10 digits.
Yeah. So you can't do it with 3. 4 you can do.
Okay.
So 4 is the absolute minimum. So I thought I would see if I could get 4, which is a big old reduction on 6. So, well, okay. So, do you want to see the whole display first or do you just want to see an individual digit?
I want to see an individual digit.
Okay. I'm going to give you what I think might be the weakest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I can get that, then it's a testament.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Matt's drawn a circle. There's a big space and then a semicircle.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, this just looks like a picture of someone with one eyebrow raised because you've done 2 next to each other. This is very tricky.
Yeah,
I can't.
It's not. It's the weakest of the gang.
Well, it's not 0 because that would just be a circle. Yeah. I'm going to say 6.
Oh, it's not 6. It's 3.
Yeah, no.
Okay, here we go.
And let's see if I can think of a better way of doing 3.
If you could crack a better 3, I'd really appreciate that. Okay, so here's my shape. It looks like a % symbol. So it's a diagonal line.
Yep.
It's a circle at the bottom. And it's a circle at the top, but the circle at the top is split in half. So you can turn each half on and off separately.
Yeah.
which means that 1 is just the diagonal line.
And when you say it's at the top, it's actually not like equally distant from the other little circle. It's slightly higher.
There's a lot of like design finessing you can do to optimize the layout. Because actually, if you look at the 7-segment displays, often they're italics because it looks better if they're all the lines are slightly angled over.
And so with the Telegraph one you were showing me, with the letters, they started to take up another space next to it. Now, obviously, you can't do that when it comes to numbers because to do calculations, it needs to know the distance. It'd
be the whole. You only get one zone for each one.
Yeah, cool.
1 is just the diagonal line. 2 is like the hat and then down.
So top semicircle.
3 is the weak one. That's 3.
Your 2 looks a lot like a 7. In fact, arguably it looks more like a 7.
Well, wait till you see 7. So 2 has the top half of the top circle. 7 has the bottom half.
I think there are too many numbers here that look like a different number or don't look like a number at all for this to pass.
You reckon?
Yeah, I want to go.
I know, I'm sure you do.
I really want to.
Yeah, you really do.
Hey, again, put it up on socials. We'll see what
then everyone will agree with you.
And I think we should encourage other people to send some as well.
Dude, have a go.
You know 100%. I've got so much work to do right now, Matt. And you know it's a huge amount of my time is going to be spent working on this now.
The conscious decision to not tell you about this. But you and everyone can have a go and see if you can come up with a better 4-segment display. And no matter what you do, I mean, maybe people will crack it. There's got to be a compromise. And as long as they're distinct and you learn them, but there's a barrier to entry to read these digits. You'd need to kind of get used to them, which I think is true of the normal ones, but there's definitely a lot more effort to decode these.
You're on. I've got this.
Okay. I believe in you.
Well, Matt, you did it with 6.
Yes.
Which is 1 less than the one we've got now.
Thank you.
I'll be honest, I haven't researched. I don't know if anyone else has.
Other people have definitely done 6 segments.
Still impressed.
Yeah.
But Cal's question was, what is the minimum amount? Now, you've said the minimum amount is 4, yet they did say it has to be readable.
Correct.
I'm not
readable.
Entirely sure if this
Look at all
readable.
That readability.
So I think until we can prove this, I'm going to give you a tentative ding.
I'll take that tentative ding.
Which I guess is ding?
Ding?
Question mark?
Thank you. Everyone, check it. I'm sorry this has been so visual. We'll put them all online. Check them out. Voice your opinion. And now it's time for any other business, which I think actually we should call any other cheeseness. Having looked at.
Also, I just want to say how exciting that was that you set it up at the beginning of the episode.
Yep.
And now you've just done it.
And we're here.
You did the joke. Well done, listeners. We made it.
Wasn't it worth the journey?
But it should be called any other cheeseness. You're right.
Sadly, I realized. I was like, the one time I had a special name for it, it's actually any other cheeseness.
Because, did you guys...
people have sent in some cheese opinions.
We've had Crafty Grammarian, which is at @platinum_west on Twitter, said, regarding @standupmath, that's you, Matt.
That's me.
Not understanding the moon being made of cheese. And it's not that you didn't understand it, it's just you weren't sure where it came from.
I don't get it. Well, I didn't get it. I was like, it doesn't look like cheese.
Yeah. And they said, please keep in mind that although today we think of cheese looking like an orange rectangle. Which,
we do.
By the way,
wrapped.
I just want to say that not until I moved to the UK had I ever seen bright orange cheese. And then I was like, red Leicester.
Yellow rectangle is what I would.
Yeah.
Cuboid.
Chunks.
A yellow cuboid. Yeah.
Although you get baby bells.
That's true.
That's true. Imagine if baby bells were cubish. Ugh, gross. Please keep in mind that although today we think of cheese looking like an orange rectangle, before the invention of food dye and refrigeration, cheese was an off-white circle.
And they've attached a picture of an off-white circle of cheese. You know what? Looks like the moon.
It does look like the moon.
Yep.
There were actually, as feta, like the way that some cheeses are made, they can come out cubish, but...
I guess so. But that's a wheel of cheese and it's moon textured.
Yeah. And we also had yelling at soccer.
Or Kevin.
Yep. He said, I'd like to put forth that Mimolette is the most moon-like cheese. And this is not like a wheel of cheese. This is like a
spheroid of cheese.
A sphere of cheese. It is an orange cheese, funnily enough.
Wow, only on the inside.
On the inside, but the rind.
If it wasn't cut open, it looks like
a rock.
The lunar surface. That's a moon.
Yeah. So
we know the real moon is hollow and filled with lizard people.
Yes.
But
I mean, if there's anyone else that wants to suggest the most
most lunar cheese,
then you know where to send you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how to tweet us.
Straight to us. Semi-related on Instagram, Stephaby. Oh, B. Wow.
B.
On brand. Didn't even know it. Who I believe is the legal guardian of long-time featured listener Dexter. Dexter, who was a child, by the way, for people, new listeners, wanted to know, would the moon have a cheese fondue core? Because I guess the center of the earth is molten.
Yeah. So is the center of the moon
melted cheese?
Mm.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
So I thought, given I'm married to an astrophysicist, I would give her a call and find out.
So Matt is literally calling his wife right now.
Yeah.
Where is Lucy at work right now?
No, she is, but she's at home. She's working at home with some of her colleagues are over. They're all working from home at our place.
Oh.
We're in my office, so we're not. There we go. That's,
Hello, you.
Hey, we're just in the recording here.
Yeah.
And we had a question from a listener.
You're on the air, Lucy.
You're on the air.
Keep your curse words to a minimum.
Yeah. So, sorry to interrupt. I know you're all working very hard there. We have a lunar question about the moon.
Yeah.
We were talking about the moon being cheese, and a listener wanted to know, would the moon have a molten fondue center if it was cheese?
Is it hot in the center?
Is it hot in the center?
So I don't think it's hot in the center. I think it's small enough that it is fully cooled. And if it was hot in the center, it would probably have some like plate tectonics.
Right.
As a result of that.
And there's no tectonics.
Not that I remember reading about. So obviously there are features on the surface of the moon. I have a vague memory that there are some sort of, large structures that maybe were formed by cracks in the surface, but I don't think. And there are moonquakes.
Oh.
Yeah.
What causes the moonquakes if it's not?
Well, exactly.
Giant worms.
Yeah.
Giant worms. Yeah, lizard people. We've been through this.
So maybe that's something to do with, gravitational interaction between the Earth.
It could be tidal squeezing or something.
So maybe. Yeah, maybe. So, yeah.
To be fair, Lucy, I suggested that we Google this. Matt wanted to put you on the spot.
I was like, nah.
Ask an expert, and this expert doesn't.
You don't have an astrophysicist around and Google science space questions, honestly. Okay, so
I'm not Googling right now.
So true. So we're going to go with no. The moon is cool.
To be fair, Lucy, you specialize in like the sun and stars, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know anything about like rocky objects.
It's in space.
Yeah, it's too close. It's not hot enough for me.
Got it. Okay, excellent. So that's a no on the fondue. All right, I'll let you get back to your actual job.
All right.
Bye. I love you. No, you hang up. I hung up. Okay. So you are Dexter? I think the answer is no. It would be solid cheese right to the center.
Yeah, I'm still going to Google it. And a reminder that we are going to be doing a Problem Squared at Blue Dot for our first...
It's a festival.
First show recorded in front of a live audience. So if you're going along and you would like us to solve your problem live on stage, then please send us your problem in advance to the problem posing page. That's aproblemsquared.com and pop Blue Dot, either with a space or without, in there. And we will maybe pick it.
We'll give it a go.
As one to answer. You can tweet us as well, but we lose
tweets.
Yeah, we do. We tend to miss them sometimes.
Thank you to everyone who's been sharing this podcast with their friends, family, colleagues, etc., and leaving us reviews.
Yes.
On various podcast platforms.
Yeah, especially the 5-star ones. We love
stars,
those.
Good number of stars.
Yeah, thank you. And we read all of them, so I hope you feel seen.
And thank you to our Patreon supporters. who make this whole enterprise possible. As always, we're going to thank 3 of them picked at random, who are...
Well, I think you go the first one this time, Matt, because
No,
last time...
I still lead into it.
No. Last time you made me...
I looked at it again in the first and the last one.
You just slid it over to me.
I did. Okay. Thanks to Moritz Kirchner. Look, we really appreciate it. I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name correctly.
San. S-A-N-N-E.
Sana? Is it from Denmark?
Sana.
I don't know. I'm guessing. San? Wow.
Could be short for It's Anne.
And
San.
San. And Christopher Barber. I think that's right.
Yeah, that looks right.
I feel like I should mispronounce and cry. Stop her. Barb R. There we are. It's
yeah, we should
equal mispronunciation. Everyone gets their names wrong.
I think that should be a new feature. We're just going to mispronounce everybody's name.
That sounds fair.
I tell you what, if you want to play a prank on us, join as a Patreon supporter and enter a really hard to read name.
All out. We UTF-8 compliant, so go nuts with those characters. You have been listening to A Problem Squared with myself, Matt Parker, and Beck Hill, and the producer is Queen Bee, Lauren Armstrong Carter.
Oh,
the final bee reference.
That is.
Thank you. What a journey.
I mean, we don't.
No, I know what your card is. It's awkward.
Am I supposed to?
I don't know.
This is like the podcast version of when you say goodbye to someone and then
you walk in the same direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should we should work something out for this.
Oh boy.